Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the Mechbay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. What's going on, Mechwarriors? I'm your host, Josh. I've got my co-host, Steve, the only member of the Mechbay to survive a kick from a flea on Augmented, with me today.
It hurt a lot, but I'm a tough guy. It was great.
Rub some dirt on it, kid.
Yeah.
And we are the Mechbay Podcast, your number one source for all things casual to competitive, especially for this episode, Battletech. And today you are listening to episode 83, Warzone Atlanta, our recap of Warzone Atlanta. It rhymed, so I'm going with it. It wasn't that bad, folks, don't worry. Even though I did think I was going to go 0-5.
I was going to say, that's a not a great outset if you're going to call it Mylanta.
Yeah, I mean, I did post in the Discord. I was like, no episode this week, folks. I got to go 0-5, so.
Well, I'll have to see how it worked out. I'm excited to hear about the games.
Yeah. Well, that's enough of us talking. Shall we get into news already? 1 minute in? Yeah, why not? What else are we going to talk about? Steve, what the heck? You put something of yours on the news? Is that legal?
I don't know. I mean, no one stopped me yet.
That's true.
Yeah, so on February 1st, I dropped the packet for Motor City Mayhem, which is a 300 point value. Battle value, look, whatever. BV, PV, it's all the same. 300 PV Alpha Strike tournament taking place May 17th, just outside of Detroit. I was really impressed. Within the first hour, I had 30 people sign up. And that felt pretty great, but we're doing an Alpha Strike tournament again, despite my better judgment.
I mean, I went last year. I had a great time.
Yeah,
it was fun.
It's just stressful. Putting on a tournament is a lot of work.
Why is that?
Why? Well, because honestly, the big thing for me is I want people to have a good time. So I go out of my way trying to make sure that there's enough swag and that there's enough prizes and that we have enough tables in the venue. And, I got to cut that check for the venue. I got to do that like right now.
Just like pause the episode levels of.
Yeah. Everyone, can you just wait like 5 minutes? I got to get my checkbook. No, but it's just, I want everyone to have a good time. And in doing so, I worry about, do I have enough swag? Do I have swag people are going to like? Are my trophies lined up right? Do I have, enough categories? What's the printouts look like? Are our missions good? And of course, you got to fuss about the packet. We changed list building a little bit this year. We lessened some restrictions about what your commander could be. We're changing BSPs this year. It's just you're trying to balance it and correct some of the issues from last year to make it more fun for everyone involved. So it's just a lot of moving parts. I enjoy it.
Can you make it more fun involved? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, so this year without doing a whole like, hey, this is what the event is. We did clip artillery this year because last year there were a couple people that brought it, and it really is designed as a baby's first tournament. It's meant to be very beginner friendly. And I got several complaints from people that had never played before saying, hey, I got destroyed by artillery and this was definitely not fun. And I said, yeah, it never is. So we're going to make that change. But this year we're increasing BSPs a little bit. So hopefully people can use BSPs for those high TMM movers and they won't be taking artillery. So that'll hopefully put the kibosh on having multiple people just get orbitally bombarded to death on the first turn.
I definitely remember my first game. I was fighting artillery and I was like, I knew it was going to be here. I still hate it.
No more. It's now gone. But we did give everybody. So basically what we did this year is we said, you can't take BS. So I like BSPs. I think they're a fun way to kind of change the game a little bit. Last year, we gave everybody 5 BSP points, and we found out that most people just took long toms and strafing runs because they're really good.
I did not take long toms nor strafing runs. I'm a normal human being.
Look, man, for the point value strafing runs, if you can line it up right, they're really good. So this year we said, okay, how do we prevent people from just glomming onto artillery? And if we're going to prevent people from taking artillery, that would make dashers with battle armor or Mercuries really just run rampant on the field. So this year we're giving everybody an aerospace fighter called Eagle One, and Eagle One has enough fuel for 2 passes on the battlefield, but then it's got to leave and refuel. Which means you can, Eagle One is kitted out with light strikes, heavy strikes, light bombs, and heavy bombs. I don't care what combination of those you use, but you can only do 1 per turn, and you can do 2 passes before they have to go. Actually, I don't know if it's 1 per turn. Oh yeah, it's in there. It's in the packet. I'm reading my packet right now. I know what I wrote. But yeah, so basically you can get 2 heavy bombs if you need it. You can take 2 light strikes if you want. But we give you the tools to deal with whatever you may see on the battlefield, right? Some people were saying, why are you including light strikes? Bombs are just better. Because bombs don't work against VTOLs, right? If they're high enough up, you can't hit them with a bomb, so you got to take a strike. And I don't want to prevent you from doing that. So light, heavy, strike, bomb, I don't care. You get 2 of them each game. Bring dashes at your own risk. So hopefully that'll solve that problem.
Are you giving each table a little numpad so they can do the up, right, down, down, down to call in?
No 500 kilograms. I'm sorry. That's not a heavy bomb.
Okay.
Look. Yeah. No. I'm excited to see how it works out. We'll see if people enjoy it. And I always have a survey I send out at the end of the tournament. So I try to get feedback, which if people ask you, if you ever go to a tournament and people say, hey, can you give feedback? Please, 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 please give the TO your feedback. Good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't matter. We just need to hear, because we cannot improve our tournaments year over year if we're not told what went wrong. We just have to know. And
to honor this tournament returning for its 2nd year, I've got the new
Take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. No.
Detroit.
Yeah, everyone sign up now. Get your tickets to the lovely, lovely Detroit, Michigan.
It's gotten better. It is nice. Look, I mean, also, yeah. Okay. All right.
Just move on, Josh. Move on.
Yep. Just look, don't go through the areas where you can't stop at stop signs. Okay. Just keep on rolling.
Roll them up. Hey, guess what? We've got a new book coming out. Actually, that just came out.
I can't believe they did this.
And it's everyone's favorite character. It's the Alaric Ward romance novel, Hungry Like the Wolf, by Christina F. York. Because Valentine's Day, and we all needed to romance our husbando / ill con of cons.
I'm unreasonably excited about this book, Josh.
Because you can make people read it.
I can. We have book club. If you're listening to this and we haven't had book club yet, don't be surprised if this is what I put forward as our book for the month. Because I've had multiple people tell me that their wives would join us for book club if we were to read this book. And if you want to get your wife into Battletech, this is a great way to do it. And then you can, have game night and you can play Battletech instead of, charades or whatever other games you guys like to play. Make it a date night.
Date night with Alaric.
Gross.
Big Rick. What's he bringing to Valentine's Day?
Find out now.
Yeah. But no, Christina F. York is the wife of Battletech author Stephen York. So this is not just, a fun one-off. This is an actual novel, like 200 pages novel. So enjoy, everyone.
Is it canon? I didn't think it was canon. I thought it was fun.
It's the everything is canon, but also not canon kind of thing.
All right.
Steve's like, okay. I don't like it, but
I'll live with it.
Oh, okay.
What else is coming up in news?
What else? We've got, I guess we're talking about a tournament now, but we're also prepping for a tournament next month, right, Steve?
Yes. Brawl in the Bluegrass down in Lexington, Kentucky, blah, blah, blah.
See, I was going to say, can you say that 5 times fast, but you messed up on the easy part. So
Yeah.
I'm all on the Brawl in the Brewgrass. So
Brewgrass?
The Brewgrass.
Hey, they've got beer down there.
They do.
I got bourbon down there.
Oh, the brew-throughs. See, brew-throughs are a Virginia thing. So, Virginia and, I guess, and North Carolina. So
you can drive, and that seems unhelpful.
You just pop the trunk and they load it up.
Okay. All right.
Look, don't knock it till you tried it. It's an East Coast staple.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But anyways.
But no, Brawl in the Bluegrass is March 14th to the 16th. It's like a 3-day mini convention, actually. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. So why are we going, Steve?
Well, I'm going because I know a lot of people down there, and a lot of my friends are going to be there, and I'm excited because it'll be my first Classic tournament.
Whoa, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yep, mostly an Alpha Strike guy, so this is new for me. I'm just going to have a good time with that one, and then I'm gonna try a little bit for the Alpha Strike one.
You're gonna get riggedy wrecked, son.
Oh, absolutely, man! If my dice do half of what they're used to, I will be dead on turn 2.
It's Classic. The dice will be bad. You'll in turn 4. That's okay. But yeah, so like you said, Brawl in the Bluegrass, like it starts with an Ironwind Metals road trip. So everyone gets in their cars, drives to Ironwind Metals because it's actually not too far. You shop there, you come back. Then there's a speed painting competition.
Last year, you built it and then played with it, right? And you had to play with whatever you built. I think that was last year. This year, I think they said they're going to have pre-primed minis, so you don't have to prime it yourself. And it's going to be a how fast can you paint a pre-primed mini, ready, set, go. So that I'm excited for. I know they're saying that, it's about how much you get completed and how good it looks to see who wins that part. But I think I'm going to I might bring my regular acrylics. I'll see how far I get with regular acrylics, not using speed paints, just to see if I can do it.
Are you going to freehand? Are you going to bring decals down just in case?
I mean, I keep all my decals in my paint box, so I'll have them, but I don't know what I'm going to paint. I might paint a weird Merc or just something for fun.
There you go.
Not a standard paint scheme. We'll see what I decide to do.
You got to show up those Lexington boys.
We'll try. I mean, they got some good painters there. I've seen some of their stuff. And then after that, I think they've got a trial for a blood name competition, like a one-on-one fight, kind of round robin type thing.
Yeah, I think it's 3 rounds and top person or something.
I don't know the details. I just know that you're fighting for Goliath Scorpion blood name. It was one of the
Soranov.
Yes, that was in one of Jason Hans's novels, and I just couldn't remember what it was.
We'll get to that in a second.
So yeah, I'm excited for that, even though I know I'm not getting anywhere close. But I'll try. I'll try. Maybe I'll roll 12s.
Yeah, I mean, they have that at like the big conventions. Like that's one of the big events there. So them doing a fun like little one down at the mini tournament is fun. So then after that, they got a trivia night. Then you've got the Classic tournament the next day, and then an Alpha Strike tournament on Sunday. So it's action packed for 3 days. Like that's honestly, a hard to pass up.
At a cost of $40, it's a steal. I mean, you're playing 3 games of Classic, 3 games of Alpha Strike in 2 days, and you have all this other fun stuff to do for $40. That's value.
I think we need to do like 5 games on Saturday and then 5 games on Sunday. I think we should up the games. Get more games. Look. I like doing my math SATs, as a competition.
Man, look,
I'm tired, Grandpa.
That's it, man. It's like Southern Assault. You do 4 games in one day. You're like, okay. And then you got to go back for more the next. Doing 3 in Classic and then trying to do 3 more in Alpha Strike. I mean, it's smart that they're doing Alpha Strike after because it's an easier, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do day 2 and then try to do Classic math. But no, I'm excited to go down. I didn't think I'd be able to go, and then things worked out and I got to move some work stuff, and I'm excited to go. It'll be fun to see folks. And I was going to go last year and it didn't work out. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's good. So me and you will both be there, and that'll be fun. And may the best man win the best tournament, whichever one that may be. So, yeah. What else? A little bit of Mechbay news. We did just release our last Patreon exclusive Mechbay After Dark episode, and it's about the memes we love to hate, because I'm tired of some
of y'all we hate to love, right?
Yeah, no, I don't love it. Look, if I've seen it 1,000 times before, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of being heard, looking at it. Get boo, get better material. So you get to listen to what me and Steve hate about what you send us. So
I like them. I mean, I'm tired of some of them, but I do like them. Send me more memes.
make new memes. Send me those.
I'll take all of them. I'm not picky. I'll dig through the dumpster for more memes.
But that's it for news. Do you want to move on to hobby progress?
Yeah, we can. I was not very good. I have a crippling addiction
to more cowbell.
I mean, yeah, I love the sound of cowbell. It's great. But no, I have a buying problem. And maybe it's a gambling problem. I don't know. I don't play blackjack. I don't play craps. I don't play roulette. I do buy blind boxes. I buy a lot of blind boxes because my local game shop now carries a lot of blind boxes.
Oh, no.
And now they have significantly fewer blind boxes. I bought out all of the vehicle packs.
Steve, no.
I did. And I bought mech packs too. And I bought so many, I'm not going to list all of the mechs that I got out of them because I got like probably close to like maybe 15 to 18 blind boxes. It was,
oh man. No,
it was fun. It was a hoot. I love it. There's something very exciting. Yes. If you're going to be looking to get more mechs, just buy the packs. But when you don't know what mechs you're looking for, you just kind of let the gods decide and buy a couple blind boxes and see what happens. So exciting stuff. I did a lot of blind box pulls. And then for hobby stuff, it's really just been accumulating bits and bobs, working on Motor City Mayhem, getting prize support worked out, working on swag and things like that. I count that as hobby progress.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of prep for Gaslands. I found a guy on eBay who sells bulk cars. I bought 2 pounds of random vehicles because they were cheap. And that was fun. That's also like gambling because I didn't know what cars I was going to get. So I just bought 2 pounds of cars. And then I spent a lot of time spreading managed democracy because Super Earth demands it.
Steve.
Look, I have not painted much. I do have base coats down on my Brawl in the Bluegrass Alpha Strike list.
Mm-hmm.
So I do actually I did get some painting progress done. I did some priming. It was above 20 degrees, so we got some priming done. And, we got some base coats down. So that's moving along, but nothing got finished.
Okay.
So, lots of buying, a little bit of painting. What about you?
I actually got a lot of painting in between now and the last episode. I went from 0 to 110% on my Star League Defense Force Novacat Xi Galaxy.
Okay. That's the black ones.
In lore, they are the black with neon. Actually, no, they're not black. That's the problem. They are neon with glyphs and graffiti written on them. And I was, I think I had mentioned in the 2024 recap episode that I really wanted to get those done and wasn't really feeling when. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to a Civil War era tournament, and the little bit of time that these guys are relevant is Civil War. And I really worked hard to think about how I was going to do something that was supposed to look so garish and disgusting to the eyes that how I was going to make it look good. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the lore and interpret it my own way. So I went black with each mech having its own neon colored glyphs and symbols written on it.
Yeah, they look very good.
Yeah.
I guess it's less black and more really charcoal gray. It's like a dark gray, kind of blackish gray.
You can't. It's literally the opposite of painting Comstar. You can't paint white and you can't paint black. So it's super dark shades of blue, and then highlighted up dark, very dark blue. So it is painted and not just primed and done. I actually did it black and then highlight hard dry brush did light blue, and then I glazed over that light blue to bring it back down to the dark, and then I started painting the glyphs on, and then added the details. So that was fun in the sense of I'm only going to do 5 to 10 of those. It's not a full faction; it's a fun
binary and call it a day.
It's a binary, call it a day. But yeah, those guys were good. It was fun to add all the details. The highlighting freehands, like making freehands glow, is not something I'd ever done. So it was fun to practice that. And I'll post pictures up on the Discord in the episode show notes so everyone can see. But
yeah, I saw them. I think they look great. I think what I love about them is that your glyphs and graffiti that you did, each mech is a different, like area. Like you did like what you did like ancient Greek, and then you did like, I know you did the Stargate symbols.
Yeah.
You did like different languages, like different letters of ancient stuff. I thought that was really neat. Each one has its own kind of flavor.
yeah, I definitely wanted to like make each mech not, because I was like, I can make 200 glyphs on each mech and it just looks like a bleh, like someone vomited, which is, it's the in-lore point. And I'm like, we can do it a little bit more stylistically than that. Like something that looks good to push around on the table, looks good to the person painting it. And so, yeah, so each one got their own color and each one got their own like theme. So like my Nova Cat is Greek, my Supernova is star charts, and I realized, oh, that's just Stargate glyphs level. That's easy. We'll do that. The Jenner 2C is Egyptian. The Huntsman is Mayan. And I'm trying to think, there's one more. Then I did some battle armor, and those just got more like splotches and lines. Because look, if I'm freehanding glowing glyphs on battle armor, it's whatever I want to put on it.
No, they look really, really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that brush is like was smoking after I was done. Like, kill me now. Like, get a new one.
I have several brushes that are at the end of their life, and I refuse to let them die. They're
Same
right now.
You can die when I give you permission to die. Like, at this point, I am using the fish hook like curve on it to my own benefit.
Oh, sometimes those fish hooks, like you need them. I've used them to like get around little bits and details. It's been great. So no, don't discount the fish hook.
You need the fish hook. The fish hook is the key. But no, I didn't buy anything. I did buy stuff when I was at Warzone Atlanta. I bought some Shadow's Edge.
Oh, the little like tufts.
So I didn't buy tufts. I bought their weathering powder because I had never used weathering powder before. And I was like, you know what? I'll try this. I'll try your fancy. I think I went with a dark brown, which I was like, this is good on everything.
Yeah. Well, I think those are similar to the AK weathering pencils that I got. Right. And those AK weathering pencils, I did a lot of that on my Gasland stuff, because I just like needed some rust in some places, and you can like get the pencil wet, and then it like makes it. They're cool. They're really cool to play with. It takes a little bit of practice, but those are neat. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with those powders.
Cool. So I've never used them, and I'm excited to use them.
Nice.
But you can actually buy all those on Fortress Miniatures and Games. So it was very funny for me to go to somewhere, buy it, and realize, oh, I could have just got this on Fortress. But I mean, it was cool to talk to him. Like, he was there. He was asking us, like, what do us as BattleTech people want versus like Warhammer people. So we were talking to him about stuff. So he's got some cool stuff coming. I'm not going to leak everything that he talked to me about, but he's got some cool like base stuff and some new products that the BattleTech people want more than the 40K people.
Well, we'll have to keep our eyes open for that. I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, you can buy those on FortressMiniaturesandGames.com. A little bit of new product news for that. You also got from Metalcore Collectibles a new VTOL. Ooh, I love some VTOLs. He's got the Breakinid Cavalry VTOL, and it comes with like 2 variants for each one, with 2 variants for each VTOL itself. So pick your poison.
I do like a lot of Metalcore stuff. I have quite a bit of it. I love the fact that a lot of the vehicles, they have like really distinct armor paneling, and you can do a lot of great things with washes, and you get really nice crisp lines on those. So I appreciate the way he designs those things. I think they're a lot of fun to paint.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love my Cobra Command like radar vehicle. Like, I just need to added into my units. Like it's not the. I already have the wand. I just need to. Okay, you're going with this now.
Did you ever paint that Tarmac King that you picked up?
No, it's on my desk right here. I'm looking at it. Like eyes 30 degrees left, and it's there. It's assembled. It's done. I think I told you what I wanted to do, right?
I don't recall. If you did, I don't remember.
I wanted to paint it like Doretta from Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, that's right.
And have 4 little Death Ray design infantry that I gotten from Fortress and put them on the hex around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah. No, I'm like, this is perfect. Like, do that.
Do it.
Yeah. So that's when the passion hits me. That's my goal.
You gotta be in the right mood.
But anything else? No. Yeah, so that's all I got for hobby progress.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But,
well,
I got 5 models fully painted, which is pretty good for me.
For you, that's great. I mean, you don't normally paint unless there's a tournament coming up. So
good news. There was a tournament coming up.
Yeah.
But I used it. I was like, I can take stuff I already have, or I can use this as an opportunity to paint new stuff. And I did that, which is all I can do. What was I going to say? All right. Well, I've got a lot of games played, but we're going to save those for the main subject. Steve.
Yeah. I got a little bit done. I played my last game in the MRC tournament, Cameron Heat. That wrapped up at the end of January. So the way that it worked, just a quick recap, I'm not going to go into the whole thing here, but
someone built your list and you got their list, and you made a list and they got your list.
Correct. But the way scoring worked is I could earn points with the list that I was given, and then the other party who had my list also earned points for me, right? I earned my points, and then somebody else earned points for me using my list because it performed good, bad, or indifferent, right? Mm-hmm. So I played my last game against Forrester because my original opponent, there was a scheduling conflict and we couldn't line up. My dice were atrocious. I was absolutely manhandled, but somehow I managed to max out objective score because my lightning attack hovercraft got disabled next to the objective, and it just sat there for a couple turns. This thing wouldn't die. So I kept getting objective score, which was great, but I didn't deserve those points. No, it was when I tell you that Princess hates me, just start asking people I've played. I mean, you reach out to Forrester and he'll tell you that, man, that was not a pretty game. But he was a good sport about it, despite me expressing my frustration at the fact that I couldn't roll above a 6 for just about anything.
It do be like that.
So yeah, we had a couple different categories. Sam did a really nice job with the tournament, and he broke everything down with his spreadsheet magic that he does. I don't know how he does it, but he's really got a great he had like different categories that you could win in. He broke that into bibs like a race, right? Mm-hmm. So the blue bib was points you received for how many people desired your list, right?
Yeah.
So you built a list and people wanted your list. I ended up tying for 3rd place. Apparently the list I built was popular. The
what
red
was your
bib,
list? Yeah.
Yeah. What I built in it, I would have to go dig it up. I don't know off the top of my head.
You made a list, threw it in the air, got 3rd place, and we're like, cool. Never playing that. Like I can't.
I wanted to, but I could go dig it up. I just don't recall what's in it. But here's the thing: I'm not very good at Classic, so it is like 6 workhorse mechs. That's all it is.
Yeah,
right. It's like I don't want anything fancy. I don't want anything crazy. I don't want crazy masks checks that are gonna rip my legs off. I just want mechs that walk forward and shoot things. And apparently, that was desirable.
Ooh, fun. No tricks. The Honda Civic of list, please.
That's it. That's all I want. Overall, I came in 7th, which was really surprising.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was really shocked that I did as well as I did.
Everyone did worse than you.
Not everyone. 6 people did better than me.
6 people did better than you.
But that sounds a lot better. Right? It sounds like I did a lot better than before. It doesn't matter. But no, I came in 7th, which was shocking. Now, what I discovered, right? The reason I came in 7th is because Matt the Northman from Valhalla Club, he's the one who bid on and won my list. So Matt played my list, and Matt earned me more points with my list than I earned for myself with Clint's list. And that's why I was 7th. So don't think that this was me playing well. No, this was Matt from the Valhalla Club pushing me up there, which I feel bad because he ended up coming in 9th overall. So he pushed me up higher than he really shouldn't have done. Like, I mean, I feel bad, right? Like he deserved the higher slot than me. So I appreciate that, Matt. Thank you.
You did better than him. I mean, that's all I'm hearing.
No, he got me more points than I earned for myself. So yeah, but then overall for list points scored, that was 6th place. So my list performed 6th out of all the other lists, but not my play style. So it worked out. I had a lot of fun. The missions were dynamic and cool, and Sam uses his spreadsheet magic to make scoring super easy. He makes interactive score sheets, and I literally just have to click like 3 buttons and he does all the math for me. It's amazing. I can't screw up my own score. So Sam, thank you. Great tournament. Had a lot of fun. And I know Cameron Heat is the first of 4 this year. I think he's doing 1 per quarter. So the same premise of building a list and moving forward, you get a list and bid on them. You can do that over the MRC. The next one is coming out soon, TM. So go check that out if you'd like. It was a good time.
Nice.
As for in-person games, I got 2 test games in for Brawl in the Bluegrass. The first one I played Chris. He brought his DCMS list, and it was a pretty standard brawly type fight mission. And I just wanted to test what I had built. I did a couple of alternate ammos, just kind of testing things out, did a real standard build. And it went okay. Nothing crazy. No huge blowout, no great defeat. So I was feeling pretty okay. And then I played Paul. This was a back-to-back game. So the first game went fine. Then I played Paul at the game shop. He brought some crazy alternate ammo nonsense. So my fast guys got exploded. My heavy guys got, melted away. I got slapped pretty hard. And this made me go, okay, we're going to go back to the drawing board and do some digging. So we have revamped that list, and now I am painting an awful lot of mechs to make that second list happen. So if I bump into you at Brawl in the Bluegrass and you do not like my list, you can look back on this episode and blame Paul, because he's the one who bloodied my nose to the point where I had to go back to the drawing board. So there you go. There's your warning.
Fun,
but that was stuff. It. I didn't get a Mercenaries game in, so
it's okay. I didn't either. I mean,
in the hangar.
I mean, the natural disasters deserve like a couple weeks of R&R. Like they had a rough time last time. So
yeah. But that's it for me.
Cool. Well, so we want to just skip into some fan mail real quick before we touch on our main subject.
I think so. I think that's probably wise.
Now, a certain someone sent us a list
for a certain tournament.
Yeah. Let's. This is from Clint. Oh, is that the same person who made your list, Steve?
It is.
Oh no.
It is.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Now the question is, can Clint make a better list for themselves than they can for you?
We're about to find out.
All right. Clint writes, "Good day, Mechbay crew. I've been waffling on sending this in or not, but having no experience with C3 and Alpha Strike, I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts on my Motor City Mayhem list." Ooh. It's a Word of Blake list that's 1 unit short of 2 level 2s. I don't have much ECM, but I'm not here to win. I'm here to explode mechs, as Blake intended. So we're going to real quick run through. They've got 11 units. They've got a Blizzard Hover Transport, a Dasher A Dragonfire, a Falcon Hawk, a Flashman, a Locust, a Malik Infernist, an Oscout 7K, a Sprint Scout Helicopter with C3I, an Omega. That's right.
Super heavy.
Omega Super Heavy. And a Tengu Heavy Battle Armor with C3I. So as anyone who would pull that up would know, the Omega, Dragonfire, Locust, Malik, and Sprint, and even the Tengu Battle Armor are all linked up by C3I. They debated on swapping out the Flashman with a Locust 2C for that 1 extra damage, but I think I want the extra armor. Been loving the podcast and I'm excited to listen to more. All right. Thankfully, it's not a narc list, so I'm already like 3 points more affectionate towards it.
All right.
My first thing that jumps out, you got some good C3. How much ECM does this list have? I see. So the second question, does Motor City Mayhem playing with counter ECM for Alpha Strike rules?
Yes, ECCM is active in Motor City.
Okay, so you want as much ECM as possible. I count 1 on the Falcon Hawk, 1 on the Malik, and that's it. So I got 2 ECM. Is that enough ECM to counter someone ECM?
It's a 300-point cap.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the Jihad era, so I would have to expect a couple other people may be having some, higher tech stuff. So 2, I think, is the minimum I would run. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd, change up a ton for a third. But if you can find a variant that you can swap one in for, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. I mean, 2 is probably the minimum amount of ECM. I think if you're bringing 1, you might as well not bring any. But the problem is if you're countering C3, you need 2 ECM. So they need, because you're going to put your ECM on counter mode and run that, which just cancels out their ECM. So they need 1 more ECM. So you're going to have to essentially move those last, which Falcon Hawk's a 10-inch mover. Not great, but that's your main line. And your Malik is 14-inch. So that's going to be doing most of the jamming, I feel like.
I think so. And here's the thing. Normally, I would say if you've got 2 ECM and we're running counter ECM rules, you're probably fine. Being Jihad era,
everything's got ECM.
I think we're going to see a lot more stuff that has it, right? So I'd be a little bit nervous. And that's just the ECM portion of this list. I have some other concerns, but Josh, I'll let you take first crack at it.
First, their comment on the Locust. They wanted waffling between either Locust Intersphere or Locust 2C. 1 damage or 1 armor? 1 armor. You want the 1 armor on this one, guys. Like if you want a fast spotter, that's TMM4, 22 inches. Yeah, armor. You don't need damage. Honestly, you can even drop the skill on, like you got a skill 4 Locust. Drop that skill. Make it. It's the same as the sprint, but the sprint is going to die probably just as fast as the Locust.
Well, the thing to consider in all of this, right? And this is what I was with removing artillery. People are naturally going to gravitate towards more high TMM units. This sprint scout helicopter has 1 armor, 1 structure. That's a heavy strike. 1 heavy strike is going to take that out of the sky turn 1, right? Then you got a Dasher A, turn 2, heavy bomb, thump. And if it's carrying the Tengu, right, the Tengu is going to take 2 damage and the Dasher is going to be gone. And that's going to be it. Now you'll still have your Locust, right? It's still there, but you have to assume that on the first 2 turns, the sprint helicopter and the Dasher are both gone. You just have to count on that. And that's going to be every game because everyone's got them, right?
Yeah.
That's my major concern.
I'll say I'm seeing a little like C3I and C3 in itself is a weird like balance. Like we don't make the mechs that have it. We just have to use what's already got it. And this has a little too much, like the whole is little too much of the light scout than I like. Like where's your mids? Where's your medium boys? Like yes, you got the Falcon Hawk, you got the Malik. That's cool, but that's only 2. I see an Oscout, I see a Sprint, I see a Dasher, I see a Locust, I see a Blizzard. That is, counting my fingers, 5. Very light, very fast. Not a lot of damage.
Well, that's the other thing is the damage overall makes me nervous. I'd love to see how this plays, but the Blizzard Hover is 0 star across the board, right? Your Oscout, 0 across the board, right? Sprint Scout Helicopter, 0 across the board. Tengu, 0 star, 0, 0. you got 3-4 units that literally can't do damage unless they're doing ramming attacks, or you're getting maybe a 50-50 shot of hitting with those stars. And on, after that, your Dasher and the Locust both only do 1 damage.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the big scary damage.
Yeah,
I mean, the Omega's tough, but and it's 6 at long. Here's the thing: the Omega with 6 at long, even if they kill the Dasher turn 1 and then they kill the helicopter turn 2, right? That's 2 turns of 6 damage from the Omega at long range, because it's a 4-inch mover. Assuming they don't have ECM and the C3I goes off, 6 damage long range for 2 turns uninterrupted, assuming it has line of sight to things, right? Oh, that's a big if.
I just saw something even worse. The Tengu battle armor are 0 star.
Yeah.
They are mechanized. They can ride on the Dasher. You don't even need the Blizzard hovercraft. So the first thing I'm going to say, get rid of the Blizzard, get rid of the Tengu. You've got something with C3I that's not doing damage. Get rid of it. Either do damage or do scout. You've got 1, 2, 3 things that do no damage. That's no.
Yeah. I'm not saying
it's 2 scout, 2 tank, 2 damage, and hopefully those tanks can doing like 3, 4 damage.
Yeah, so. I mean the Falcon Hawk does 3, the Flashman does 4, right? I mean, but the Flashman's not part of the C3I network.
See, I've forgotten something right now. You're doing C3I. You have the access to the best Scout possible. You've got Jump Strong Scout. So, you know what? If I was being fed at the restaurant that this list was serving food at, I would send this back and be like, I know you've got truffle French fries back there, and the Scout, I want to say 10 CS, 11 CS, one of the CSs.
I have to look it up.
That is Jump Strong 1, TMM5 with C3. So
brutal.
Yeah.
Now, depending on the armor and structure, that I assume.
3 and 2.
Here's the thing:
3 and 2.
If it's 3 and 2, even if it takes 2 heavy bombs or 2 heavy strikes,
1 per
it's
turn.
Still alive.
1 per turn. Yeah.
Right. Well, but I mean, even at 5, it's going to do 2 damage and 2 damage. It won't kill it. So someone's going to have to put shots into a TMM5 unit to kill that thing.
Yeah. So either they kill it turn 1 or they don't, and they don't shoot any of your other guys. So yeah, I'm sending back. Remove the Tengu. Probably remove the Sprint. Like, yeah, if you want it. Sure, but you've got access to a better Scout.
I'd say
the Blizzard.
The Blizzard
remove
for sure.
The Dasher.
Now, the Sprint Scout helicopter is at least part of the C3I network and can at least get short range for a lot of the other units if they want it. I at least see some value for, because that's 26 movement, so it's TMM4 plus 1 for VTOL. That's a TMM5. It doesn't do any damage, so the hope is that no one shoots it because it's not worth shooting at.
Yeah,
right.
No, it's a easy scout. They're hoping to hit it once, immobilize it, motive crit it, crash, dead,
or heavy strike it on first turn.
It just needs 1 damage and it's already out of the game.
Oh, but again with the BSP,
that's what I mean. Like,
roll a 6
on a 5 up. On a 5 up, it's got 1 damage, motive, crash. So
you don't even need to do 1 damage, because you can, instead of rolling a 5, you can roll a 6 for a heavy strike and kill it outright.
Yeah, but okay. You got me there. I'm thinking in old school BSP, not fun Motor City BSP points don't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna send this back, Clint. I'm sorry. I love it. I love what you're doing, but be better.
No, so I would say
get rid of the sprint. Get rid of the sprint. Get rid of the Blizzard.
I don't hate the sprint. I don't hate the sprint.
No. So that's what I'm saying is Scout takes over the sprint's role and becomes a better Scout.
I mean, I'm not sure how many points that one is, but if you need the points to get it there, clip it. I would say take out, I don't know, I want to see you've got so many lights. That's my big concern. I see a ton of lights and not a lot of damage. The Omega is the big scary thing, and at 6 damage at medium range, even if the C3 network fails, that's dangerous enough. But at movement 4, just got to be careful, and it's large, so its TMM is actually a -1, right? So it's got a lot of armor, a lot of structure, but it'll get chewed up if they really dedicate time to it. And maybe the goal in this list is to have so many little things that they're not paying attention, that they don't, and maybe it's just
a giant large model that's -1 to hit.
I mean, they may target it, right? I mean, they may target the Omega because it's scary, but if that were the case, I'd want my lights to do just a little bit more damage so that they could, kind of eat them up if they needed to. I like what's going on here. I think it needs just a little bit of love and nudge.
I'm sending it back. No.
Look, we can't rip on Clint too much. Otherwise, no one's going to send us lists. We have to be nice.
That's true. But yeah, the rule for C3 is C3I, because you get 6, 2 scouts, and you want them tanky and fast. So that's why the Scout is a good one. The Locust is a good one. I don't subscribe to the sprint VTOL thing. That's too fragile. Everyone's waiting for it.
And with a lucky flak hit, even if they don't use a BSP against it,
6 up, it's dead.
Yep.
The Blizzard hovercraft, you don't need the. If you do, you take you take battle armor that needs to ride in it, but mechanized one that can ride on the Dasher or either or.
You can ride on the.
You get one or the other. You don't need 2 transports. And like I said, 2 scouts, 2 medium tanky 10 plus movers, and then 2 damage dealers. So
it's like the only thought is that the reason there's so many lights is for objective grabbing.
Yeah. You still need to kill though. You're going to get bullied.
Yep. I mean, I like objective grabbers, and seeing as we do objective contesting like Southern Assault does, right? You can just throw the Blizzard on there and contest an objective. That'd be a pain in the butt, but
you got access to better things.
I want some more teeth.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you sending the list in, and it's fun to see this. Like, it's for my event, so this is like super cool. I'm like, ooh, this is what people are thinking about. This is exciting. So I appreciate you sending this, very truly. But yeah, I might workshop it just a little bit. You got time. Lists aren't due until May 1st, so you got a lot of time.
I'm not going. You send me your list,
and Josh will critique it.
All right. Are we want to take a break and get into our main segment of Warzone Atlanta?
I think that's probably a good plan. We here at Hildco have a long history of manufacturing some of the Inner Sphere's finest fusion propulsion jets. From Robinson to New Certus and Detroit to Hesperus 2, our jump jets carry all manner of Mechwarriors skyward. Trust Hildco to elevate your goals and your ambition. Hildco. Going up?
All right, we are back. And back from Warzone Atlanta.
You're here. You made it. You lived.
I did. I even took the public transportation MARTA train from the airport all the way into like midtown of Atlanta. So
trains are cool, man.
Trains are cool. I actually was like, you know what? I don't want to Uber. I just want a train.
I like trains. But if you have the opportunity to travel by train, that was one of the most fun experiences I had. As I took a train trip down to Texas, and that was a lot of fun. But trains are cool.
Trains are cool.
So,
all right, that was a good episode.
Why'd you go?
Because this was 5 rounds of Classic, and I have yet to experience 5 rounds of Classic. The most I had done was 4 rounds at Adepticon 2023. And
was this all in one day?
Yeah, and that was painful.
5 games
that was
in
terrible.
A day?
You were at the grinder.
Oh, no. Warzone Atlanta is.
Oh, no. Warzone Atlanta was 5 rounds over 2 days. So,
okay.
Day 1, 3. Day 2, 2 games. So,
all right, that's more manageable. I was about to say, like, I can barely handle 4 games of Alpha Strike in a day. You're going to tell me you did 5 of Classic?
I mean, I by the end of game 3, I could have done 1 more and been okay. Not great, but okay.
I don't believe you.
I mean, so the illustrious Lord Carbon John from MRC also went to this event, and I talked to him, and he was like, we both said we felt much better after 3 games of Classic than we do after 3 or 4 games of Alpha Strike. And
is it just the number of units you're controlling?
And we try to figure out, is this number of units? Is it the dice numbers? Like they're the same counting. And want to say the big part was we weren't yelling over each other to be heard.
Oh, just quieter.
Yeah, so like the BattleTech event was on the like outskirts. It was set, like, there was a wall, there were doors. We got the window seats for the hotel, and it was really nice. Like it was quiet. Yeah, no, it was great. I didn't have to yell. I could sit there, think in relative peace and quiet. It was nice.
Awesome. So, give me the eye in the sky view of this event.
Warzone Atlanta is a premier Warhammer tournament, but they also have some side events. And this was the first year that BattleTech was available, and that was run by the illustrious Scott/Clamps from the Georgia BattleTech Discord. And they put this on, and they were like, "Hey, we're doing 5 rounds of Classic." And I was like, "Whoa. Classic, not Alpha Strike? Everyone does Alpha Strike at events." And they're like, "No, we're doing Classic." So this was a Civil War 9,000 BV Classic blind missions event. And I was like, it's in a hotel. I don't have to leave. Food's provided with my ticket.
That's nice.
Yeah, see? It's a premier event. There are drinks, caddies everywhere. It was great. Like, honestly, so good in that sense.
You have to play. Okay, new plan. Premier Classic event, black tie affair, waiters with champagne on shiny dishes, walking around. I want it.
I mean, there are those for Warhammer, so it's easily we can get that for Classic or even Alpha Strike. Yeah,
right. I just want someone with demand top hats, monocles, the whole 9 yards. I just want someone to bring me a drink on a shiny tray while I'm playing.
Yeah,
BattleTech.
That's the dream. That is the dream.
I want it. So, what did you bring to this tournament?
I brought what I had just painted for Hobby Progress, which was a Supernova 2. That is the 90-ton clan assault mech that we all got in the first Clan Invasion Wave Kickstarter. That has 2 ER large lasers tied to a targeting computer and 4 ATM 9s with, I want to say, 2 tons of each type of ammo. That is a 353 as well with max armor. And not enough heat sinks to shoot everything, but close enough.
Sound like it hot.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. My immediate thought was I waffled on this one or the Prime. I guess it's not the Prime because it's not OmniMech. The first variant, the original, the OG Supernova, which is just 6 ER large lasers and less armor, but more heatsink. It's like, I think my end answer is any Supernova is the same Supernova. They're all good. It's technically it's the Clan King Crab, Steve. I'll give it to you that way.
Oh, well, now I'm interested.
Yeah, it's literally
okay, Supernova, whatever, some star named thing. Yeah, not a crab, fine. Yeah. But now,
it is literally if you do the hierarchy evolution, Inner Sphere makes King Crab, Karinsky takes King Crab, clans make King Crab 2C, but call it Supernova.
That was a mistake.
It was. Should have. You reached perfection. Why did you change it?
All right, that's it. All right, what else? That's one mech. You got like 5 of these things.
Yeah, I know, but I upgraded that pilot to 4-4. My next one is a Nova Cat E, and that has 1 large pulse laser, 4 ATM 9s, a little bit more ammo. I want to say 3 tons each, I want to say, but it's a 460 70-tonner max armor, enough heat sinks to fire 4 out of the 5 weapons at a time.
Okay.
Yep. Next one is a Jenner 2C standard. That is a 2 SRM6s and a Streak SRM4 with a, I want to say, 9-14-7 movement profile and no armor.
It's a Locust.
It's might as well have been, but it's a Jenner 2C.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jenner. You said Jenner.
It's okay. Yes. I mean, welcome to my spider problem. If it jumps like a spider and it looks like a spider, it's probably a spider. And that was a 4.6 pilot, and I took 1 ton of Inferno ammo on that. My next one was a Huntsman A. That is 2 large pulse lasers, 1 LRM-10, and an LB-2X. And that is a 585 profile with decent medium armor for a 50-tonner. And that is also a 4-4.
Nice.
Yeah. And my last one is a single point of Rabid battle armor. That is 4-5. Now, I don't know if you're aware, Steve, but the Rabid battle armor have a fixed flamer and 2 one-shot SRM2s.
I was not aware.
Yeah, so elementals have an SRM2 with a reload. So they can fire twice, but once in one turn, once on the other turn. Rabid battle armor,
you can just go blammo.
Blam with both.
That's kind of neat, actually.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
No, it was great. The only problem with that is the flamer is affixed, so there's no like laser or any variants like that. It's like the Rabids are just that, and that's what you get. They also have 1 less armor. So instead of 10, they're 9. But the big thing is they have jump 4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So they're a little bit cheaper than elementals, and they get a little bit of, they're like elemental side grade.
You know, now that you talk about this, I think I ran these in a Mega Mech tournament at one time.
Probably.
The Rabids.
Yeah. Yeah, they were great. I've used them once, and I have had them used against me once by Scott from scotsgameroom.com. So, yeah, they bullied me on that game, and I was like, fine, I'm getting them.
I hate these. I'm taking them.
Exactly. So
That's
that is
good.
my list. What is your thoughts on my list just from that?
I mean, so like most classic lists, I have problems because I'm not up on a lot of like ATMs. I've never used ATMs. I'm not sure how they function.
The quick one?
Yeah, give me the quick and dirty.
Big launcher, multiple missile sizes. So extended range, short range 9, up to like, 20 something?
Okay.
So like longer than an LRM, and they do 1 damage, but they always do damage in groups of 5. Medium, they do 2 damage per missile in groups of 5, and they have a like 5, 10, 15 range.
Oh.
And then you have your high explosive, your short range, 369, like a SRM, but they do 3 damage per missile in groups of 5. So on an ATM 9, if you get into high explosive short range and you fire those, you roll. ATMs have integrated Artemis 4, so it's +2 to all cluster rolls if you're not affected by ECM. So I roll a 9 on the cluster table. That automatically goes to an 11. 11 is max. That's 9 missiles. Each missile does 3 damage. 9 times 3 is 27. That is 5 groups of 5 and a group of 2.
Oh my.
Yeah. Now, the launcher is big and the ammo is, chunky, but you burn through it fast. So
That sounds amazing.
it does. Because they are they're clan ammo mechs, they are actually cheaper variants compared to like ER large lasers or PPCs or sniper LRMs. So,
I mean, on paper, it sounds great. I'm curious to see how it works in practice. Like that sounds like too good to be true.
it does sound too good to be true, and it's why I wanted to use it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
These are all the Novacat special in the Civil War into Jihad is they went all ATMs because Clan Skyfox, hey, you need to rebuild your entire clan military. Would you like this brand new weapon we made to sell?
Please.
Yeah,
I'll take your entire stock.
Yeah, pretty much. So they went. Novacats go from all large lasers and ER large lasers targeting computer sniping to ATMs. And I think this is more of a product of retro Dark Age shenanigans. But yeah, we won't get into that in this episode. This is a game episode.
All right. Well, game 1 of 5.
Yeah. Game 1. This was affectionately named Sumo. There are 5 objectives in the center line, and whoever has the most tonnage on an objective controls it. Whoever then controls the majority of the objectives, so 3 out of the 5, pushes the whole line 4 hexes towards their opponent's deployment edge.
That's interesting.
It is. We played a similar game in our Triangle Classic, but we played it on the... So this all of these games for Warzone Atlanta were played long ways on a battle mat. So the full 30 hexes.
So you're deploying on the short edge.
Yep.
And you're walking all the way across the map, long ways. Okay. Just making sure I'm understanding you.
Exactly. When we talk about these, it's important to know where we deploy from. So, yeah. I roll up, and I already know I'm going to hate this game, and I'm going to struggle by it, no matter who I get, because I've got a 3-5, a 4-6, a 5-8, and a 9-14. Yeah. It's like, there's
mostly lighter, faster stuff, right?
That's
and also game mode for you.
And also, I'm clan, so I'm always outgunned. Like,
just outbodied, right?
Yeah. I've only got 5 units, and a lot of the opponent list had 6. So,
And you're 9,000, right? 9,000 BV.
9,000 BV, which is a lot of BV, but when you're clan, it's not enough.
It doesn't go that far.
Yeah, I was like,
you're
notice
running a 2C in there too. So,
I've got only 2 Omnis. But, so my opponent is Robert, and Robert has 2 Hunchbacks. I want to say they were 3-4 and 2-3 skills, a 3-4 Grasshopper, a 3-4 Quick Draw, and then a 2-4 Behemoth and a 2-4 Shrek.
Woof.
So those were all pretty much intro tech. I want to say the Grasshopper had an ER PVC or ER large laser, but that was it. It was all intro tech, the rest of it. So I am outgunned heavily and outskilled. I'm like, great. The one thing I don't want to fight.
Rough. Yeah, that's and of course when you see this at the start of a match, it gets inside your head, right? Like, this doesn't look good. You don't anticipate this going well, and unfortunately, sometimes you make it happen, right? Your own mind projects it, and I think that sometimes translates into what happens on the table. But hopefully, you're going to tell me you smoked them.
I wish. So I deploy. We get the Tundra map, which is personally one of my favorite maps. Like it's great, clear terrain. Nothing like that. But the problem is I can get like one. I can get the Jenner onto an objective.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I get there, his tanks are already ready for me. So I'm like, I can either play super aggressively or I can play super defensively. And I went a little defensive, and I decided I'm going to let him try to grab the objectives first, see if I can shoot something, kill something. I got ATMs. I just have to get close within 3. So I put my Nova Cat. I move my Nova Cat like within 3, so when he gets on an objective, I can just unload, delete a mech, supernova running the whole time, gets behind the nice wall of cover. It's ready to do the same to a Hunchback, and then the Huntsman's dropped battle armor and ready to respond. The turn I start shooting, it does not go my way. The ATMs, I only hit 2 of them. This will be the reoccurring theme of this entire episode. I got 4 ATMs on 2 mechs. How many do I hit? I hit 2 max per turn. Yeah.
Sometimes the dice betray you.
They do. And I'm like, cool. I can throw out like 100+ damage. I can delete things. No, I'm just going to spread it around. So my Nova Cat, I go hot trying to kill, I want to say either the quick draw he throws on the objective, and I take the heat. I go from 4-6, 3-5. That doesn't go well. So when I back up the next turn to try to get the objective, because he pushes the line towards my deployment, Nova Cat can only walk backwards 3, not 4. He walks on the objective. His Grasshopper jumps up, kicks me in the head, takes it off.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yep, I was like, great, we starting this off worse than I thought.
I knew this was going to be rough, but man.
Yeah. Supernova, it's got the terrain. He's not even shooting it. That poor Huntsman taking shots. Oh my God. Yeah, 2-4 Shreks and 2-4 Behemoths. Like, no one needs that many shots. Like, the Huntsman did not fall. And I should say, the optional rules we were using the expanded damage. So if you take 20, it's +1 like normal. If you take 40 damage, it's +2, 6 damage +3. So I'm just like tallying how much damage this Huntsman is doing, and I'm like thanking Kerensky that I paid for a better piloting.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, otherwise you're on the ground and then it's all over.
Yeah, my Huntsman. So the whole line pushes toward me. Huntsman backs off. The Hunchbacks are hot. They don't care. I'm just getting blasted by like 40 medium lasers across all 4 mechs and the tanks. I'm like, oh. By the end of it, I was able to push again, and then he pushes it back. So he pushed it, I want to say, 2 times to my 1 time.
So now, did the scoring, was it based on ending result of where it was, or just how many times you pushed it?
You got scored based on how many times you could push it up to a max, and then if you got it across your opponent's deployment edge, you got more. So,
oh wow, okay,
yeah. So the last turn he was able to push it 1 more, so it was 3 pushes to my 1 pushing. So I did not do good, and the only thing, did I even kill anything? That's when I got to look at the sheet. I killed 1 Hunchback because it went overheated, shut down, and I shot it.
As you should.
And the other Hunchback I crippled. So it was worth half points.
Okay.
So final scoring was 25 to 95.
That sounds a little bit more brutal than you made it sound.
I mean, it felt brutal. Like, only one thing of his dying to the Novacat dying, the Huntsman did die, was taken down by all the tanks shooting in it. Like, there's only so many PPCs, so many bubbles I can fill in. Stop. He's already dead. But yeah, so after this game, I was like, ugh, that didn't go great. But, it can't get worse because I'm in the bottom pile now. For my post-game discussion, what do you think of the game? What are your thoughts on tonnage-based objectives in general? And then what is your thoughts on 9,000 BV?
I mean, so let's start with the big one, right? 9,000 BV. That's, I think you were in Civil War, so that might be a little high for Civil War.
Yeah, because you still got a lot of intro tech availability, and the weapons haven't really proliferated.
But I mean, like, once you get like past it into Jihad, there's so many fun toys. I think 9,000 is a pretty good value, because if you go too much leaner than that, you really start to hurt the clan players who want to take anything, right?
My Jenner 2C is like 1,000, and that's it.
Yeah. It's, you want to try to make sure there's enough, fat to play with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think 9,000 is maybe a little high for Civil War, but if you got a lot of clan players in your local community, then that'll let them bring, full
something.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Tonnage based objectives. I'm not going to lie, I don't necessarily hate it. I'd have to play it to get a feel for it. One of the things I like to do in my mission type basing is I want to try to reward different types of builds for different types of games, right? If I've got 4 or 5 games, one is going to benefit fast movers, one is going to benefit slow, durable guys, one's going to benefit, maybe one benefits probe. So having a tonnage based one, I would expect to see in a wide variety of objectives. It's going to help those brawler lists that are big and tanky. They can get on objectives. So it makes the swarm armies maybe a little bit less helpful, right? The problem is this game mode, it took me a minute to understand what you were saying, right? There are 5 objectives, and then he who has the majority of objectives that outton the other party gets to move them all.
Yes.
Right. I thought it was like, oh, maybe we're moving this objective one and you're moving one objective the other way. Like, no, it's a whole line.
That's how we
shifts.
do it locally. We've had a very similar thing, and it's tonnage, it's size. We use like the abstract size to push.
Right.
Like push, a light mech will push an objective 1 hex, and a heavy mech will push it 3 hexes. So there's a difference. But this one was like, it's all or nothing, which I'm fine with. It's just like, okay, but his hunchbacks are worth not as much as my huntsman, and they're skilled up, but I'm worth more. I should control it more, shouldn't I? I mean, that's
Well,
just
no.
a like.
I mean, you're just a very fancy Porsche that is. That's it. You can go real fast, cool, but if it's about tonnage, about how much you're moving stuff, then you're moving stuff. So I don't hate it. It's a little bit. I think the initial gut reaction is, oh no, balancing things based off of tonnage is bad, right? But we're not balancing. It's an objective mover, right? How much force can you put behind it as you shoulder this giant pillar across the battlefield?
Yeah, I just definitely felt a little. The mission was weighted against me, literally, by like about 200 tons.
Well, your build did
don't
not
take those mechs.
Well, you can't know, right? This is what I love about blind missions. You never know. This time, it didn't work out for you. But maybe next mission, when someone had these really big tanky boys that did well this mission, they can't get to the objectives that's floating around the map. So maybe they couldn't chase them down.
Yeah.
And you're better suited for that. It's all luck of the draw.
All right, let's get to the second game. This was kill the commander, protect your commander, and get kills with your commander. So the good old trifecta.
It's crucial. It's crucial that if you're going to do a kill the commander game, you have to have points based on how many kills your commander gets, because otherwise players take those commanders, hide them in the back corner, and it's not a dynamic game. You have to get them out of their shells.
I've done it. Shadowhawk 2C.
Yep.
It jumps forever. But no, second game, I'm playing Brian. And Brian has a 3-4 Sunderer, a 3-4 Charger. This is the LBX 20 variant. A 3-4 Wraith, a 3-4 Bishamon quad mech.
Oh, the Bishamon. No way.
Yeah, we just read about these Bishamons in Voidbreaker, right?
Yeah, they were in there. I was so excited to see those. I thought about grabbing one for my Free Worlds Day group because it's just it's a quad mech and they're silly looking.
It's very silly. They also had a Sprint VTOL. I want to say a 5-3, and then a squad of riding battle armor. So
what were they riding?
Sunday. I know. I heard it.
Couldn't help it, Josh. I'm sorry.
I know. So the first couple turns for me. First off, my commander is of course the Supernova.
I mean, it's got super in the name. Why wouldn't
it's got super in the name? It's gotta be the leader. Also because it's got the most armor, and I just lost my Nova Cat to a nice head kits. So his is the Charger. So we got two big boys, two assaults. First couple turns getting into position. Then after, I should say this: the first game I won initiative once. That also hurt me. Even though, as we all know, losing initiative lets you put mechs on objectives first.
It's true.
This one, much more balanced. I won initiative a little bit more. So we were playing long ways again on this mission. So the first two turns don't matter. Turn 3 is when we start making contact. He runs his Bishamon in.
As you do.
He runs it. Then he goes prone to try to get more.
Wild!
Because they're a quad mech.
It's a quad, yeah.
So he runs and he goes prone. I'm like, cool, but I won initiative this turn, so I'm gonna run my Huntsman into your rear of your Bishamon, and I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, it's a quad mech. They can kick me in the rear, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm in the rear of a mech on like turn 3 or 4, and then and then we start shooting, and I'm like, cool. I got 2 large pulse lasers and like the LRM-10, and I throw it, and I put 2 into his rear right torso, and I get 2 engine crits right there.
Value.
Now, the other thing is, we were playing with true force withdrawal. So if you got crippled, 2 engine hits, an engine gyro, that kind of stuff, you got to move off the field. Now, if they kill you, it's worth half. It's worth full points. If you're crippled and get off, you're worth half. So there is a little bit of don't die in this.
Right. Yeah. There's a benefit to keeping your guys alive rather than throwing them away.
Yeah. It does technically disadvantage Intersphere XL engines, which I guess that's also why I saw just a lot of intro tech standards that were upskilled.
Yep.
But yeah, so the Bishamons to already force and draw. we move to the physical attack phase, and he's like, I'm going to kick you. And that's when I was like, nuh-uh. You're on the ground prone. You can't kick prone.
Ooh, got him.
Guess what? Who can kick, though? The Huntsman. Huntsman kicks. Huntsman kicks his right torso rear.
Are you serious?
You dead, Bishamon.
Oh, man. That's where you're like, all right, hang on. We gotta weigh these dice and see if they're weighted, because you're rolling a lot of sevens.
He was like, that's a lot of right rear torso. And I was
a
like,
lot of sixes.
Yeah. It's like, hey, man. And so he's like, bro, you only did damage in one place.
I mean, you can't help it. Sometimes, look, last game, the dice betrayed you. This game, they gave you a bunch of sixes, which normally would suck because you're missing on your shots on sixes. But it just so happens those are for hit locations, and it all worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was he definitely had a plan in mind, like, run, go prone, harder hit me. Go closer to him, which is a minus when you're prone and adjacent. And I was like, yeah, if I can get to you, it's worse for you. You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the gamble, right? If he's thinking you're going to play a little bit more cautious, then it would have worked out, but it didn't.
The next turn, he's like, okay, well, he won initiative, so he gets to move last. I put my Supernova in a nice sniping position. It's got the air larges, it's got ATMs. It's throwing mainly extended range. I was mainly using extended range on this map. He then tries to get some more big brain in, and he takes his sprint VTOL, which has been on the other side of the map, and he moves it right in front of my Supernova, and then turns. And he's like, cool, I'm going to try to skid into your Supernova.
Oh, like a side slip crash.
Yeah, but then this is when Scott came over, the TO, was like, that's not how it works, Brian. It's not modified by how far you go. It's just a single roll. And he's upgraded his piloting so he could try to make further he goes and turns, it would modify. And it's like, no, it's not how it works. It's a side slip. It's just piloting skill roll. There's nothing affecting it right now.
Oh, so his impression was, I've gone 20 some hexes, therefore it'll be a harder roll.
It'd be a hard roll. And he could, nope. So he's like, crap, because he already put the dice down and everything, was resolving it.
It's locked in.
He's locked in. He's right next to my Supernova. And because my Supernova is my commander, and that's an enemy unit, I'm like, cool, let's start shooting at it. I roll. I get a 12 to hit. Boom. Location, also 12. Rotor. ER large laser.
Yep. Good night, sweet prince.
Yeah. Rotor destroyed. VTOL crash. VTOL dead.
Hey.
So that scored me some points. And I was like, thank you for feeding the Supernova commander.
I'm sure that felt bad for him, right?
It did feel bad.
I thought it worked this way, and it didn't work this way, and I made a mistake, and it cost me a unit, and that's when you start to snowball. That's when you start losing games.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a snowball, but it was like, hey, you've lost 2 units in instantly, which is not something Classic does. I mean, it does if you get head hit, but not rear damage.
Probably he was counting on it living a little bit longer. But.
Yeah, the sprint VTOL, it was more of playing it wrong.
Well, that happens too.
Yeah. The rest of the game would devolve into my Novacat trying to move to the middle so it could like shoot anyone that was trying to get around, and the Supernova sniping while the Huntsman tank damage. I would hit the Charger in the head once with like a ATM volley.
Ooh.
Yeah. I want to say it was the Huntsman large pulse laser. That's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah. So 10 damage, no crits, nothing fun there. But the problem is he's upskilled Intersphere assault mechs, and I am a not as upskilled clan assault mech. So he is constantly pushing. And also, you can't kill a Wraith. That's what I learned in this tournament. You can't kill Wraiths. They jump 7-11-7. I'm tired.
Wraiths are good, man.
Wraiths are good. But the last turn, I have jumped my Supernova away because I'm damaged. Like, I've taken LBX hits. I've got, I want to say 3 pilot hits on the Supernova at this point.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm like, don't hit Supernova. At 4, he's crippled, and he has to withdraw.
Right.
So I roll my BSPs, because I remembered it this time. I get my light strike out, and I'm like, where do I put it? His Sunderers hurt more, His Wraith is barely damaged. His Charger's got some, but not enough. And I'm like, you know what? It's kill the commander. We're going to shoot the commander. I roll. I get my 2 groups of 5. First one hits the head on the Charger. Kills that.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it was a open cockpit.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you hit it with a large laser before then, I mean, that's it.
I just needed a little bit more. So Charger goes down. That's when he really felt bad, but he did, at the last swing, put his Sunder and all that damage into my Nova Cat. The Huntsman had gone down from the Charger shooting it. So at the end of it, he kills the Nova Cat, by like engine destruction, because he took out ammo and the whole side, and enough engine hits will just destroy it, and the Huntsman. So
but the only Supernova, so your commander lived.
And my Supernova lived, thankfully. Actually, and I did. That was the other thing. My last volley with the little battle armor killed his Sunderer, because all those SRMs finally got through the rear armor of something.
Well, I mean that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with these little light units. You can't ignore them because they'll get you if you leave them alone for too long.
Yeah. On that map, I don't think my Jenner 2C did anything, except I was too worried of his commander getting an easy kill, so I just kept running it around like defensively. It did get one good like open up the armor on his Sunderer, but that was it.
That's good.
Yeah. So the post-game discussion, we've already learned one rules wronging on a classic vehicle. Would you rather see BSP vehicles in organized games?
So I'm a little biased.
I know.
Right? I have only ever used vehicles on Megamech. I've never run a vehicle rules-wise on the tabletop.
Yeah.
I've gone up against someone who brought a Manticore tank, and those were no fun. I would probably say yes, bring BSP vehicles if everyone got the same amount of BSPs to spend. I think that would also have a chilling effect on BSPs, because those BSP vehicles are not quite as durable as as real tanks.
Yeah.
Right. But I think they're fun. I think it's an easier way to do it rather than trying to mess with all the vehicle rules. But that's also because I don't understand them terribly well. So less brain power for me.
They're preset at 2 skill levels, normal or veteran, and they're preset at what they can do. Like, there's no ammo swapping, there's no min-maxing on them. They're just what they are. And their rules are 3 pages instead of the entirety of Total Warfare. So everyone knows roughly the same thing. Like, they all interact the same.
I mean, I'm biased. I would say it'd be neat, but I'm also, if you give me the option, I'm not going to run a vehicle in a normal list that I build anyway. So if you said, hey, you can spend BSPs on vehicles, then I might.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm showing up, mech only. So I would say, yeah, BSPs are neat. I'd like to. I would play in a tournament that they were included in.
Any thoughts on that game? Or it's pretty standard. I think I win that one 110 to 25, because I was able to kill stuff with commander and keep my commander alive and kill it and make sure his commander died.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you made some good trades, got some lucky shots. I don't think there's much to say. That's BattleTech, baby.
That's BattleTech, baby. That would actually come into effect game 3, which was destroy 3 fuel tanks on your opponent's not edge, but like, I want to say like 6 hexes up, 4 hexes up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm playing James, and we said that's BattleTech. James actually had one of those like that's easy button, like the sound button. And he said that's BattleTech. So
did it really?
Yeah, I was like,
that's awesome. I kind of want one.
Oh man, but yeah. So we had 3 explosive fuel tanks that we had to defend, and we had to destroy the opponent's 3 fuel tanks. They did 40 damage when they explode in the surrounding hexes, 25 in like the surrounding after that, and then like 5 damage in the hex.
So they like blew up big.
Yeah, they blew up big, like big damage. There was one row they went, and you could only either shift them up 1 hex or down 1 hex. That was it. There was no like, okay, I'm going to hide this one behind X and this one's... Nope, it's like they were very restricted in how they could be placed.
Huh. Okay.
So, but James brought a 3-4 Lynx, which is a rare mech that you never see, a 3-4 Ostal, a Phoenix Hawk with a pulse laser one, another Wraith, and then a Zeus 9S2. So he's got some jumpy pulse and some sniper mechs.
That's a good combo.
Yeah. So yeah, because like the tanks are like 5 or 6 hexes forward, James has to walk past them. And I know that.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to do what Clan do best, which is turn 1, I walk on the as little distance as possible, and I put every single one of my units, except the Jenner and the bow arm, because they ain't got that range, at shooting the tank that he is walking past. They have 90 health. I do it. I shoot. I get like 80 damage. I then call in my strikes. I do the last bit.
Oh no!
It blows up. His Lynx takes like 45 damage. Another mech takes 25. Another one takes 5. I want to say the Lynx falls down. Actually, like,
oh yeah. Well, I mean that's a big kaboom.
Turn 2. His Lynx gets up, starts walking. It's like, cool, I'm not sticking with the pack. I'm going to try to walk past this other middle explosive tank. Steve.
You can't keep getting away with this.
I do it again, Steve.
No.
So his poor Lynx takes... It only took 25 this time. I wasn't like a bully, like rubbing his mech's face in it. But yeah, no. Don't walk next to the explosive objectives. Like, I have not moved from turn 1 to turn 2. That like
just
I was like,
still.
I have range. I have 4 ATM 9s that are like long range. They're immobile target. I'm like hitting on 4s. The only thing I'm worrying about is cluster.
Jeez. Well,
yeah.
I imagine the game went well for you from there on out.
It did go well. It didn't go like crazy, but yeah, turn 3, my Jenner 2C jumps behind his Lynx that had just gotten bullied by 2 gas explosions. Unloads with 2 SRM 6s and a Streak 4. Engine gyros it. Then the Streak 4 finds the SRM 2 ammo, blows it up. No case on the Intersphere mech, kills it. I was like, Jenner 2C, whoa, you aren't supposed to be this offensive. It's like
the Jenner 2C's got spice in it.
It does have spice. Yeah, I mean, this whole game, the Supernova moved 3 hexes out of all the turns. Like it's got pure range. It doesn't need to move anywhere. It just needs to shoot the tanks and explode. The Novacat moved, I want to say 10 hexes up a hill to try to like shoot the mechs, but it didn't move until my objectives had exploded.
Well, okay, so you didn't fall into your own trap. That's something.
Yeah. And the Huntsman went hunting because that's what it does. The last big part of it, like we both killed both of our objectives. I definitely killed mine like turn 1, 2, and then I saved the other one to like turn 5. Like I was like, don't need it right now. I'll get to it when I need to. The Jenner 2C went to bully the Zeus. There's nothing over there to cover it. So it's just getting behind it every turn, firing SRMs, trying to get through the armor. I actually trade the Jenner 2C to cripple his Zeus. I stand still, he stands still, he puts a Gauss rifle into his rear arc, fires it minimum range, still hits me, but I finally get his engine 2 times. So I'm like, cool, I'm crippled, you're crippled, you have to walk, I have to walk. And then as he's walking, he puts another Gauss round through the Jenner. I was like, that's fine. I'm 1,000 BV. Even destroyed, it's still cheaper than your Zeus.
Yeah. Well,
so I was like, what? That's a killed Lynx and a crippled Zeus. That Jenner 2C paid for itself 12 times this game.
Hey, you make good trades. That's how you win.
I was gonna say the cool part on this one was I did do enough damage to the Ostal that it fell down. I was like, and then I had to walk because it's a level 1 when falling down behind a hill. So I walked my Supernova into its arc, and I got to do some sweet immobile, unconscious targeting computering shenanigans. And I was like, cool, I'm targeting your left torso, which is damaged, which has an XL engine. I put one through it. I was like, yeah, immobile target, locking on. Yeah, it was mean, but I enjoyed
You
it.
call them shenanigans, but it just sounds like you murdered the poor man.
The only thing that I did not destroy of his was the Wraith, and I'd hit it on its head in the last turn. Yeah, his Zeus technically walked away crippled, but it's still worth. Yeah, Zeus crippled, 1062. Jenner 2C destroyed, 995.
Yeah, still a good trade.
Still a trade. So like I said, we both blew up each of our objectives, but on the kill scoring, I won, so I got the win for that. So I win 135 to 80.
So that's a closer game.
Yeah.
I mean, you still won by 50 points, but that's much closer than your first.
Yeah, that one was like a lot of people, as long as you could see the objectives, you can kill them unless you're like all medium lasers. So this was if you had anything that could go long range, it's a...
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah. And ATMs, they do all ranges. That's the whole point of them.
Yeah. They're kind of like the stem-nose PPC, but for missiles.
Yeah, they're direct fire, so you can't even indirect them. You got to look at the objective. And I had a little bit more elevation. He had more woods.
Oh, on your side of the map, sure.
Yeah, didn't make... Like, even if I had to move, it wouldn't have been easy. So,
got it.
So your post game on this one, thoughts on destroying objectives? Like, this was one where I did not technically shoot at his mechs until like turn 3 or 4.
Well, I mean, you kind of did by blowing those up and nuking his stuff. But I mean, destroying objectives, I think, is fun. I think it's good. It forces the player to contemplate how much damage am I able to put out? Where is it best applied? Where do I put that pressure? Obviously, you're going to score points for the objectives if you blow up the objectives, which you want to do. But, Monkey Brain wants to blow up bad guys first, right? I think the big trick from a TO perspective of doing the destroy objective mission is what is the correct CF for the objective, right? You want to make it high enough that you can't blow them all up on one turn of shooting, but you don't want to make them so high that you have to dedicate 6 turns to blowing up an objective, right?
Yeah. I mean, these were CF 90, which is, I would consider a lot.
Yeah, but it sounded high when you told me, but you were able to do 2 of them in 2 turns, so clearly you were fine.
I mean, that was my entire list shooting. Like, I was taking heat to do it, actually.
Okay.
Because
maybe it's a little high, but it seemed to work out okay.
It was a little high, but it was also like I have the most range out of every. Like, let's add my range brackets across every other list that went there, and it's like, no, Josh has like 10 hexes on everyone.
Well, but the other thing to consider is what is the turn limit, right? If he's anticipating you playing this over 15 turns, then that's not that much. You just kind of spend a little bit every turn, and by the end of 15 turns, you have 3 things destroyed, right?
I think 12. I think 12 turns.
Okay, that's a decent amount of turns. Yeah. I mean, that's like 8 damage a turn or something like that. If that's not a ton.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just he can't hide these objectives. They just have to sit out, and if I have elevation to see them, I can shoot them. So he had a lot of like inner sphere pulse lasers and like the 1 Gauss and LRMs on the Zeus. Like that was what mainly did the damage to my tanks. So
right. No, I like the destroy objective missions. The trick is just balancing correctly for your turn limit and what area you're in based on what weapons can do how much damage. So that's the balancing factor. But I think it's fun. And I think you see a lot of that in a lot of the video games and a lot of the scenarios that you can play. I think it's a fine mission type to have.
Yeah. I think my thing is you can have a high construction factor if you count them as immobile. You like as a TO, don't be afraid to say, yeah, these aren't immobile, or these have stealth, or these have, something else about them that makes it not just a auto hit.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, depends on the mission, depends on the tech, depends on a lot.
Do you think explosive objectives was good, or do you think that was just like
so?
Because
you know my mission that I run at Motor City. I love explosive objectives because it makes things a little bit dangerous.
Yeah. You know what? I would have liked to see the objectives spread out a little bit more. Like,
well, but if you're deploying on the short edge, fighting across the long end of the map, there's only so much map to spread out your objectives to, right? Maybe if you'd had them in a triangle, 2 in the back and
That's
one
what I
near
think,
the middle, like maybe that would have been a little different, but that forces you to either walk past your middle dangerous objective or you have to go kind of zigzag around the map.
Yeah.
So,
or maybe just a unit has to go up and touch it or something. And like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just spitting out. It's like, this is one of those like hard concepts. It's like, how do I make shooting an inanimate object fun?
Yeah. I'll make them explode. That's step one.
Explode. Yeah. All right. Well, then we take a break. Woo. Because that's it. That's game 3. We're done for the day.
Oh, that's day 1. Look at you.
Our brains are still functional by legal purposes or definitions, I should say. John from MRC gets a bunch of pizzas and we all drink those. Wow. I'll eat those in the... Are you sure your brain was working, Josh?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Is it working now? Have you recovered?
So we get a bunch of pizzas and we eat those in the hotel, in the tables, and it was great. We had some fun. And then we go to sleep, do it again for game 2.
Come back and
day 2, game 4. All right. Next one, I'm playing John, and John's got a weird list.
Wait, you're playing MRC John?
No, I'm not playing MRC John. I'm playing another John. Yeah.
Okay.
John Underwood.
You said John just got pizzas. Now you're playing John. I'm like, it's the same guy.
That'd be great. Thank you for the pizzas, John. Let me beat you in Classic, maybe. But no, John has a Dasher H, a 3-1 Lightning Hovercraft.
Oh my.
A 3-5 Rifleman C. That's the 2 Clan Large Pulse, 2 LB5s. A 3-5 Stone Rhino 5, I believe. It's the 4 LB5s and 6 or 8 Clan ER mediums. That's a 3-5-3 Stone Rhino, yeah. A 3-1 Shadowcat TC.
2 3-1s?
2 3-1s. Yeah. So this used the skills can go as high or low as they want, and they had to be within 2. That was the only requirement.
Okay.
And then Salamander Battle Armor.
All right, I know those.
Yeah. I know what that one does.
Yeah.
This game was fine until it wasn't. This mission was just your standard 5 objectives. They were level 2 tall, preset hexes, classic star cross position in the middle, and 2 on each side. There was also lava, at least imaginary heat gas on the bottom. So if you're on level 0, you take 5 heat, and after turn 6, they take like 10 heat.
But heat rises.
I know. That's why I was like, they called it lava, but
that's so not. I get why, right? The ground is literally hot, Steve. Just
the floor is lava. The only thing is, this did not affect vehicles nor battle armor. So
okay. I mean, that makes sense because otherwise they're just going to straight up explode.
Exactly. So. It's like you hate it, but it's like you understand.
Yeah. You can't cripple a list because of the game mode.
This game was fine until things started to go my way and my opponent started to get a little angry. Turn 1, I'm going to battlefield support strike the Dasher because I don't want a Dasher H. I know what a Dasher H does in Alpha Strike. I know what it does in Classic. It's a Dasher, but it can die. So my airstrike comes in. It rips the leg off the Dasher. Dasher falls, crits itself. It's in force withdrawal, turn 1.
Yep. I expect we're going to see a lot of that happening as more BSPs get included in tournaments.
Yep.
Right? I mean, people are worried about high TMM stuff. That's the way to deal with it.
Yep. I mean, everyone had the option to take defensives and everything like that. He put all of his in, I want to say, heavy defensive and a bombing. So,
okay. Did he use the defensive against your airstrike? Or?
He tried, but because I used the light and he used the heavy kind of thing.
Numbers different. Sure.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he had, but I remember it didn't work. I want to say he might have just had a heavy bombing.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone had 30 BSPs to choose from. So
that's decent. That's a good amount.
But so his Dasher is forced to draw. On this one, it's whoever has majority of the objectives on a turn gets the points for that turn. So It's not like I have one, he has one, we each get 1 point. No, it's majority. So
Did you do the thing we never supposed to do, Josh? Did you go for all 5?
See? But it's not 3 objectives. It's 5 objectives, Steve. And 5 is also a prime number, but it's a better prime number. It's 2 3s minus 1. Don't shake your head at me on my audio only format.
I'm going to do it. If I can't say something nice, I'm not going to say anything at all.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, if you're crippled, which his dasher was, it could not count to capturing the objective. So
that's smart.
So his lightning's on one, his dasher's on the other, but crippled, and my Jenner 2C has ran to get onto one. So right now we're canceling out. Turn 2, his dasher's just floundering there. My huntsman walks gently after I win initiative. His lightning moves up. His 3-1 lightning. And I'm like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to try to ram me. You're going to try to kind of do what my other opponent did instantly, because it's a charge. It's a comparative skill modifier. It's pretty much an auto hit for him. I was like, cool. I'm going to stay on this level 1, and you moved. I'm just going to shoot you. I put 2 large pulse lasers into the lightning. One of them hits his side. The other one hits his rear. The rear one gets the motive, or not motive, it's just a critical. I roll, I get the stabilizer. And this is when I have to tell my opponent, hey, do you have weapons in that location? He's like, no. And I was like, then it moves down the table. It moves, it gets to the next worst thing that's applicable. And he's like, do you have a turret or not weapon thingy? He's like, no. I was like, you have an engine. You are now immobilized.
Oh, happens.
Yeah. I knew what was going to happen. I was like, Huntsman, get the lowest possible number, get in short range for all of your weapons and fire them. Like I said, I put 2 large pulse lasers in it. I got into his actual internal structure on his side. That's how I got it. So me telling him is like, hey, the roll isn't the roll. It's actually worse than the roll.
I'm sure that didn't feel good.
No. Next turn, my Journer 2C will jump behind the lightning, throw the SRMs at the immobile target, get the kill. It was great. That turn, my Supernova and Novacat are sniping. His Shadowcat runs up. I see what the 3-1 Shadowcat TC is going to do. It also wants to charge. It's got battle armor. It drops the battle armor. The Novacat E unloads. It gets a floating critical. It gets 2 engine hits on the Shadowcat.
Jeez, oh Pete.
At this point, my opponent is getting visibly angry.
Yeah, it sounds like you just smoked all of his dudes, and there's nothing he could do about them. I'd be just as mad. It's one thing to be outplayed or be outmaneuvered, but just have your opponent have hot dice and roll crits all day.
I held back because I was like, I can look at your list and be like, you have 2, 3 gunnery 3 piloting 1s. I know what you want to do. You want to get not into just physicals. Like a kick isn't worth it. You want to get like charges and pushes and push me's off the maps, and you want to do weird niche cage physicals. I was like, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm gonna stay back. I'm gonna move like 1 turn, and then I'm just gonna brace and hit you. So that's what I was doing. It was all I could do. Like Huntsman and Jenner 2C in battle armor, like go take the objectives, but big guys, don't worry about it.
Right.
So,
right.
So I will say this is one point where I was like, hey, I'm feeling bad. And I also have to diffuse the situation. And I was like, hey, I'm not going to shoot your Shadowcat because he's in 4th patrol. He can run. He's not gyroed. If you don't shoot my guys. So like you'll get half your points to your Shadowcat. You just run them off. Don't shoot my guys. I won't shoot yours. And he's like, that's fine.
Try to give him some points.
Try to give him something. Like I'm not trying to like curb stomp anyone's teeth here. At this point, the Huntsman is dueling with the Stone Rhino, which is like 50-ton versus 100-tonner. Like he's out once again. He's under-tonned and he's under-skilled and he's under-gunned. I was like, but he can capture an objective while the Jenner 2C gets behind the Stone Rhino and captures that objective. So I've got objectives down pat now. Huntsman falls. He falls in heavy woods. That's fine. This is when he goes, I only agreed not to shoot your mechs with my Shadowcat. I'm going to charge your fallen huntsman with my Shadowcat. And I did not have the heart to tell this man that you can't charge a prone mech that was already prone.
Yeah.
At this point, the TO has come over and is just sitting down watching this game, trying to make sure he does not flip the table.
Yeah.
What
the TO told him you can't charge down mech?
No. He was just like, he was saying other stuff too, and he was like, well, I'm going to do this. And I was like, So handing over the sheets to me, like, if you know what to do, then just do it for me then. I was like, in so many words. I should say what happened to Rifleman C was the supernova shot both of his arms off.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I think the only thing he had left at the end was the stone rhino. Yeah, because
you just couldn't kill it.
Yeah, no, I mean, even the battle armor unloading, trying to get crits or head hits. Nope, couldn't do that. Novacat just deleted the salamander battle armor. ATMs, I was like, cool. All I need is 2, and that's more damage than you have armor. So yeah. It was a rough game for him.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. The only thing he killed was the huntsman fully. The only thing I did not kill of his was the stone rhino. And the Shadowcat technically walked away crippled. That one went a balmy 115-15.
Okay, that's a big swing.
That's a big swing. So what post-game discussion comments do you have on that game? And then I will also ask, what are your thoughts on the skill spreads limits, and also force withdrawal as a hard requirement?
Yeah, I mean, the game sounded like it went very lucky for you. I mean, that would have been a wild game if you had not rolled all those critical hits and all those, I mean, punching through the lightning. I mean, lightnings are pretty weak as it is, but,
yeah, that was.
It sounds like you had a lot of fortuitous rolling.
He got angry on the lightning one, not because I hit it, but because he had parked it with 2 woods. But because I had elevation, I was like, okay, I only take the adjacent wood.
Right.
And he was like, that's not how it works. And I was like, that's how it works. It's adjacency that matters.
Yeah, I still. And plus, it's a level 1 vehicle, right? So you're like, oh, it definitely gets it. It doesn't. It doesn't. Elevation screws up so much with woods that I basically have to call Denim every time I have questions about it. I go, Denim, how does this work?
I will say the other thing that kind of aggravated him on the line of sight rules is we've all talked a lot about the defender choosing splitting hex, and I'd done that with the Jenner 2C jumping near the stone rhino, and he was like, cool, I shoot the stone rhino. I was like, okay, so I'm picking the level 2 that I'm adjacent to, and any elevation you have doesn't matter because I'm choosing the full line of sight blocking. So
right, yeah, it feels like, hey, you're going to take away my cover, but then you have some other niche rule that you can apply to give you the benefit, and that feels bad.
Yeah, and he was like, that's not how I've played it, and I was like, that's how the rules are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
yeah, yeah. It sounds like he just had a real rough go.
This was a rough one. Knowing more rules than your opponent and doing better than them on rolling. So
yeah. Skill limits, I think, are probably for the best, because I suspect that lightning, if he was using it as a missile, would have been, an 8-1.
Yeah.
If he wasn't required to keep it within 2. And that means that, the BV goes up. So that's a good limiting factor. We can debate whether 2 steps is enough or 3 steps is enough or 1 step is enough. I mean, that's all personal preference, but having some cap on that's not bad. It's the same type of thing with the Alpha Strike tournament that, I have a minimum PV, so someone can't take a field medic and, take a 1 point unit capper. I think that's fine. I've got no issue with that. Force withdrawal being a hard requirement.
This is a difficult one for me. We've talked about it a lot. Force withdrawal seems narrative and not.
I mean, it does seem a little bit more narrative than competitive, but at the same time, it means it just changes the strategy, right? Now that I've been using force withdrawal a lot more in the mercenary games, I understand it better, so I'm less scared of it. Um,
On there, it's there to save us. Like, please.
well, yeah, there it's supposed to be helpful, but for something like this, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I would say I might prefer force withdrawal being off, but at the same time, then you end up with like the one thing that will not die, and no matter what you do, you can't get it off the field.
Yeah,
and that also feels bad. So, yeah,
my thought is it screws Innersphere Excel engines, which are like later era Innersphere, like
right,
because you go straight from crippled to destroyed, like instantly, like that. Like even Hinterlands is like faster. There's only truly destroyed, and then there's destroyed.
Right.
So, yeah, that's my only thing. Is like, I like it in that sense, but I also understand like, yeah, the Innersphere can get IS Excel engines, and they don't get to force withdrawal. Like they can if they get double engined, but losing a side torso for a clan mech is much worse. So it's one of those like not all tech base this rule equally. So yes, you're right, it is tactics, and that was actually one of the reasons why I took clan list, is because, well, if I get side torsoed, I can walk off. Last game, you ready?
I think so.
Yeah, it's capture the flag.
Yay.
Yeah,
everyone loves to capture the flag.
Yeah, except this guy right here. Yo, all my homies hate long ways battle mat capture the flag.
Okay, I mean, your guys aren't slow though. That shouldn't have been too big a cripple. I mean,
my guys are pretty slow comparatively.
Kind of slow, but not like Stone Rhino slow.
Yeah, no, I've got exactly a Stone Rhino. I've got the Supernova's 353, Nova Cat's 46, Huntsman 585, which is medium.
That's not too slow.
The battle armor 4. That's it.
Well, battle armor.
Yeah. And then the only thing I have fast is my Jenner 2C. Which,
okay, you're kind of slow.
I'm kind of slow, yeah. Like on a short ways battle mat, I'm fine. On a long ways battle mat, I'm too slow. Yeah, so I already knew I was screwed. Thankfully, the capture the flags were not like all the way. They were like 4 or 5 up, just like the explosive tanks.
Okay.
So it wasn't, thankfully, on the deployment edge.
How many flags?
One each.
One hit. Okay.
So I've got one flag. He's got one flag.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking King of the Hill for some reason, and that's not right. You said, yeah.
It's okay.
The flag. Got it. So you have to like really go all the way down and all the way back.
You got to go all the way down, and you got to take it off.
Well, you just play D, right? And you murder all of his fast guys.
Yeah,
right?
That was the plan. My opponent's name was Sam. And Sam took a 3-5 Intratech Banshee, 3-5 Intratech Thug, 3-5 Intratech Catapult, and then a 4-4 Wraith, 4-4 Night Sky, and a 4-4 Spider.
Oh, you're in trouble now.
I am screwed right like the... That's probably my biggest problem is like I look at my list, I look at their list, and I look at the mission, and I was like, we don't have to play this, man.
Just take your points and go.
Take your points. Yeah, no, it's like this was the most min-maxed list for this mission.
But they're blind. He didn't know. You just got a bad matchup.
It's true. It's true.
His fault.
But when your opponent says, I've never made a list before, you kind of look at them and be like, don't lie to me in this hallowed ground of a tournament. Like, no, don't tell me I've never made a list before. And
maybe you got lucky. I don't know you, Sam, but I'll vouch for you. It's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's 3-5 Intratech Assaults and 4-4 Jumpy Pulse. And I'm like, cool. I'm 4-4 roll missile, get good.
Yeah, but I mean, you're doing a ton of damage if you hit. So it's a different strategy.
Yeah. So this game had almost no interaction. It was pretty boring to play because of it, because I clumped my guys around my Supernova and Nova Cat. I put the Nova Cat a little higher up, not on the objective. Supernova right on the objective in a heavy woods. And he jumped his Spider in first. And the Nova Cat on 10s rolled the ATMs, got it, blew up the Spider, Innersphere XL style.
Sure.
Next turn, he but I fall down on the Nova Cat, I'll say that. So I have to, this is where I screw up. I miscounted me moving, and I was like, I'm going to get up running because I thought I could get better, and it's nope, I miscounted, and I was like, I should have just gotten up walking and had one less. But next turn, he jumps his Wraith and Night Sky onto my objective, and the way this is as long as you do not shoot or do any physicals, and as long as you were standing and not crippled, you could pick up an objective.
Okay. So are there multiple flags? Can he pick up 2 at the same time?
No, but at the end of the turn, as long as he's not shot or physicaled and is not crippled, either of the 2 mechs can pick it up, whichever one.
Okay, so he's got a backup. Okay.
Yeah.
My question was, could he pick up 2 and then you had to gun them both down?
Nope,
or
there's only one objective.
Got it. Okay.
Only one flag. So I throw all my ATMs. I throw everything in my list except the Gen 2C at both of those. Half of them shoot the Night Sky, the other half shoot the Wraith. Night Sky takes like 70 damage, doesn't die. The Wraith picks up the objective. Wraith jumps over a mountain. Wraith is gone. We shake hands, we call it there.
Yeah, you're not going to catch it.
No. And I was like, I could maybe, like, I had 2 choices. I can either abandon my flag or I can go like brick the gas and just try to take his. And it's like, no, it ain't worth it. So yeah, it was 60 points to grab the flag and get it off. It was like 15 to kill something that had gotten it, which was very hard, and like 45 to get the flag and get it to your side of the table.
Got it.
So, I score 5 points for killing the spider and crippling the Night Sky. That was it. And this is where I messed up. I made 2 mess plays because it's still 5 games of Classic over 2 days. The Nova Cat getting up and counting the wrong amount of hexes to get it where I wanted to go. And the Huntsman, I lost a leg, fell, was not crippled at the time. I declared careful stand. You can't careful stand if you're missing a leg because minimum movement. I did roll high enough that I could get up without the careful stand, though. So, yeah. So it's one of those, like, I declared the bad rule. I cheated what I said, but I passed what was legal. It was the last turn, but yeah. So if I had lost the leg and had not been able to move and been crippled, if I couldn't get up, my mech would have counted as destroyed by the rules. We didn't want any like no leg, 1 leg mech, no gyro kind of stuff flopping on the ground. It's like if you couldn't get up, the turn you were crippled, you were destroyed. So yeah. So I lost nothing. I killed a spider and that. So yeah. So I lost, I think I mentioned that one. Yeah, I lost that one 5 to 85.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 80-point swing. That hurts.
Yeah. Sam would go on to win that event because he had won all 5 of his.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. So me losing 1 and ending up on the top table feels good, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your other 3 games, you did very well in your other games. So I'm not surprised you kind of submarine there at the end.
It was weird because I was like, I should do, like, you want to do middle. You don't want to have blowouts either way, but this was you either get dumpstered or you get taken to the dumpster.
Yeah.
So there were no like secondaries, so it really was like if you either you either kill them and do the mission or you don't.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, so the post game discussion for that one, capture the flag. Do you love it or is it hard with BattleTech?
The trick is with capture the flag, you have to balance the points, and especially in Classic, you're going to get maybe 1 or 2 shots at grabbing that flag, and that's it. So you want to reward players that can do it, but that almost leads to a blowout if one party can grab it and the other one can't.
Yeah.
Right. Again, right. If you don't bring the right style of list for a capture the flag map, especially when the missions are blind, you're going to have a bad time. You're just gonna. I've not found a way to balance capture the flag myself, but it is something I'm working on.
I think what could be cool is different flags are with different objectives, like or different points. Like a flag that's close to the middle of the map is worth 1 point. A flag that is like all the way
in the back corner.
At the back corner is worth a lot of points. But I also think just things move way faster in Classic than everyone thinks. Like, and if you don't win initiative or something, it can just, you can't catch them.
Well, but I mean, even an Alpha Strike, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
you know,
Your
fire
dasher.
moths zip 26 inches across the map, and you can sprint sometimes, right? So it's like zip, you're there. That's it. You're across the map. So, I mean, light mechs go fast, and when you jump them, they become even harder to hit. It's a fact of the game.
Yeah. I don't know how to balance capture the flag. We've done it locally, but we do it short ways. So like, it's like
bigger mechs have a better opportunity to participate.
Yeah. But they can still shoot. That's the thing. It's like we grab it and then we still fight for it.
Okay. Well, again, how you interact with objectives has always been a contention point in BattleTech.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's no way I can't physically block. Actually, well, no. I was like, I had 4 mechs and 1 battle armor, so he still could have gotten 2 units into a legal place to capture the flag. No, I'm just thinking, and yeah, Wraiths. Screw Wraiths, man.
I like Wraiths. Wraiths are cool.
No, because every game I was able to kill everything except the Wraiths. And this actually came up that I got called like, hey, that's some clan BS or some like clan cheese. And I was like, bro,
Blake, you have a Wraith.
Yeah, like I did not bring a large pulse laser targeting computer. I have 3 large pulse lasers. That is it. Like,
yeah.
Yes, I have ATM big damage number go burr, but I don't know. So I don't know. My thought is I'm not as angry about the large pulse cheese as I am now about the jump cheese. Because it's like this monster eats this monster. Yes, I can see where you'd spiral in all lists are either jumpy or pulsy, but I don't know.
Josh, you're going to be shocked when we talk about our Brawl in the Bluegrass
I know,
list.
right?
I have a Wraith.
We're not friends anymore, Steve.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my Wraith and go home.
I'm going to jump 7 hexes away.
Bye.
Yeah, no, it was just, I think Scott did put out the statistics, and he was like, there were 4 Wraiths. It was the most common mech at the tournament. It was either that or Chargers. So,
yeah. I mean, at some point, there are certain mechs that are more economical than others, and certain availability more than others, and you expect to see some of these things, right?
Yeah. Yep. Chargers 4, Archers 3, Wraiths 3. So everyone wants a fast assault, and everyone wants a jumpy pulse.
Got to have one. I mean, it's otherwise, this is a tough part about classic competitive games is when you start to really limit. You really start to limit like list building. At some point, you just have to say, "Hey, these are the legal units," and take them if that's what you want to do.
Oh yeah,
because otherwise, you're going to have to accept some level of jump pulse. And you're going to have to accept some level of targeting computer stuff. It's just they're there. It's in the lore. It's in the game. It's got to get used.
Yep. What was it? Yeah, more statistics. There were 4 clan players, 5 mercenary players, and 7 Intersphere. So really there was 12 and 14, or 12 Intersphere, 4 clan. So that was probably the spread I expected, just like blind mission, that skill. Like it was just much more optimized to upgrade skill on cheap Intersphere than take expensive.
And you get more bodies, right?
Oh yeah. I definitely felt like I was not taking I left a lot of points on the table by taking 4 and 1 battle armor than 6 Intersphere. But this was an excuse to paint Nova Cats. And you know what? I did take home best painted for my Nova Cats. So
there you go.
If you can't play well, paint well. If you can't do both, fix your mech, fix your game.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, you asked me before, hey, what did you think of the mechs that I was painting? I said, it looked great, and you even asked, you said, Steve, is this good enough to take home best painted? I said, I don't know. I don't know how the people in Atlanta paint, but looks like you did well. So that's good.
The other 2 people that got best painted were Michael Bryant on the Mechbay Discord, and Rocco or Rock also on the Mechbay Discord. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone.
Mechbay Discord. We may not play well, but we paint well. Any other thoughts on that? Like on a 5-round classic?
Again, I have not done a classic tournament. I'm excited to do my first run at Brawl in the Bluegrass, but it sounds like a good time. It sounds like you get a variety of missions. It sounds like, really, it sounds like the 2 missions that you didn't do well on were the 2 that your type of list wouldn't do well on. So it's not really a surprise.
Curse me and my lack of imagination for what my list can and can't do.
No, it's just,
Josh,
sometimes you're limited by the tools available.
Big damage numbers for these missions. Well, crap, I'm not going to do well.
Right, that's it. You mean I can't kill my enemy into submission?
Honestly, it was like, oh, what'd you do? Well, mainly I just rolled and my opponents died, but when that didn't work, I lost.
Well, 2 of those missions, you got really, really lucky with a lot of your damage. So you got like real good critical hits.
That was me taking every advantage and knowing like I'm buying time, I'm standing still, I'm giving elevation. Like my opponent's not shooting at me, but my opponent is positioning and I'm going to make them like come to me, which I don't think they were expecting on a 5 objective. So It's like, yeah, I know what you're trying to do. Fight through this weird terrain, lower your TMMs, let me get more hits on you. So yeah, it could have gone the worse for me. So, but no,
sounds like it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Warzone Atlanta. I would definitely do it again. I liked the premium style event. I also liked a 3 games one day in a more quiet professional setting, and then 2 games the next day. I did not have the brain fog that I get at 4 games at Southern Assault, and I think that's mainly because you're yelling across the table trying to get your voice heard.
Yeah, it's tough. You're fighting for a lot of people. I mean, there are a lot of people in that room, and it's a school gymnasium, so it's all concrete walls, and there's no sound dampening anywhere, so reverberates everywhere.
I'm gonna hand my opponent a wireless mic and put me in like an earbud. It's like, hey, just whisper. But no, it was great. What would I take differently? I'd actually thought about taking a hovercraft, and now I'm glad I didn't.
Sure.
Because my MVP, Jenner 2C, when it came to it, the Huntsman, definitely. Like I can take or leave the Novacat itself. But yeah, I enjoyed the mechs I didn't expect to enjoy, and didn't like the one I expected to enjoy. So
now you know.
Now I know. It hurts, but yeah. So Steve, we got 1 month until your classic tournament. You ready?
I got to paint a lot.
Yeah, we all do.
I'm painting a lot. I'm excited for Brawl in the Bluegrass, but I need to paint, and I need to submit my list. That's got to happen this week. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. My classic list is, the problem is I don't think it's super bad. There are a lot of list building requirements regarding, pulse and jump and this and that. And I'm just trying to make sure I'm not like horribly offending anybody, but every single mech that I am bringing is manufactured by the Free Worlds League.
Hey.
Like it is a classic Free Worlds League mech that they make and own and produce and everything else. So it's like, all right, like at least it's
know they made
accurate.
Jade Phoenixes.
No, I'm not taking one of those.
I know. It's not that era.
No, it's not.
The industry lived in peace. Even when it was a war, it lived in peace.
And then the Jade Phoenix came and everything changed. But no, I got to paint a lot of Falcons.
Yeah.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got like a dozen Falcons. I'm staring at them right here on my desk. So
just trash them. It's okay.
No, they got to get done. They're getting done.
Nah.
Although, we'll see. My Alpha Strike list may not be very nice. We'll find out.
Look, man, you're there for painted on one, playing on the other.
We'll try.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone, for listening to our Warzone Atlanta recap. Tonight's patron shout-out episode, thank you, is to Cadet Lawrence Trishini and Mechwarrior Ed Iron Magleton, piloting their Warhammer 7.8, colloquially known as the Highlander. Pretty sure that's illegal. What's the word? Oh, calling your Warhammer the Highlander? Like, I don't know,
I'm
man.
just confused.
Yeah, no. That's why I had to pause. So
is the Warhammer named Highlander?
The Warhammer is named Highlander. So
that's the name of it, not okay.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
it is not a Highlander, it is Warhammer.
It's a Warhammer.
But the name written on the inside is Highlander.
Yeah, no. Legal department's going to be all on you for that one.
Yeah, there's going to be a cease and desist letter somewhere.
But thanks to those patrons, and thanks to everyone else who's listened to tonight's episode. We'll catch you all next time.